Okay, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. I told you we're going to have a treat today. Every time we're on the Bronx Buzz, it's a treat, but this is a real treat. Got to get the lighting right so you can see 50 rappers who changed the world. And of course, we in the Bronx know about changing the world with our music. We've done it, oh, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, maybe most pronounced with hip hop. And let's say good evening to the author of the book, Candace McDuffie. Nice to have you with us so much, Ms. McDuffie.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really a pleasure to be here.
Tell me a little bit about you and the music of hip hop. Where did you grow up? Why did it, presumably, mean so much to you that you decided to put out this publication?
I was raised in Albany, New York, but I'm originally from Harlem, New York. So growing up, I had brothers who always would play hip hop music, and Biggie was really big in my household, and I grew up to be a music journalist. So I cover a lot of different genres, right? I do folk, I do pop, I do indie, but I do rap because I have to. And the message of it is so important, so political, so urgent. It's always been that way. So doing this book, when I was approached to do the book in 2019, it felt natural. And it was a great opportunity to talk about the power of hip hop music.
We've had a number of dialogues over the years on BronxNet and on this program and another program I have called Bronx Talk about how over a course of time, the root of hip hop was misunderstood and it turned into a gangster thing. And then it was related by the media to violence and misogyny and all this kind of stuff that really, and when I talked to the original hip hop creators, they were like, that's not what this was about. And you just talked about the message. What is the message? Which of course is an ironic thing to say, considering the song, The Message. But what is the message that you have in your mind about this music and this culture?
I mean, I think it's about the Black experience and it being authentic. So I think hip hop has transformed from being super political and there was gangster rap, but all hip hop does is hold a mirror up to America, right? I feel like the capitalism, the misogyny, the sexism, the violence, that's America for you, right? It's just in music form. So I feel like hip hop has always embodied not just the Black experience, the American experience through the Black perspective.
That's a fascinating point of view, and I sincerely appreciate it. I think of a lot of the word poetry that has come out of it. To me, it opened up an avenue of expression, especially for young people, that didn't exist before. Whereas maybe there were things on their mind, things that they would want to say, even in rhythm, that they would never have said before. And all of a sudden, this new music came out, and it was like, wow, this is our music. This is my chance to have my say. You're along with me on this?
I am.
Let's talk a little bit about the book. Now, the idea, so I'm going to flip through it for people.
Thank you.
That's okay. We want people to enjoy it. There are individual bios of all different hip hop people. You can see Busta Rhymes there, NWA. It's written in a way that I got to say that young people would appreciate, right? Can absorb, right?
Yeah, I think this book's primary purpose is to be an educational tool, to educate young, hip hop fans who might not know the history, who might not know the culture and its origins really deep. So I feel like it was written in a way so it's easy to digest, it's factually accurate, and it's also super interesting facts, I feel like, for each artist. The accolades, the acclaim, the platinum records, the tours, the record sales, so I think it's done to educate young people.
You talk about young people. You're a school teacher. Listen, especially now when the kids we were just talking about it on the last segment on the program, where kids have just, they've been staring at screens for a year, and it's just not the way to develop and educate children. We all know that. This is the kind of thing that can bring them back out, just like hip hop did originally for Bronx kids, and then of course about young people all over the world.
Absolutely, and I think with the political climate, of last year, with the Black Lives Matter protests and George Floyd's murder, we have an opportunity to kind of address race in a way we haven't done before. And I feel like hip hop has been talking about things like police brutality and violence against them, racism, and how it's been institutionalized. And I think being able to look at our climate now and see how so in your face it is, and to be able to listen to these artists, they can make the connection for themselves. And I think this book just aids in that.
There's another aspect of that that I must bring up, and we've alleged or related to it throughout this conversation, and that's the notion of self-identity, is
Mhm,
that your identity, who you are, is okay,
mhm.
and this is your music, your culture, and it's not just stuff you hear on the radio or you hear from, somebody's playing it loud on a car that passes by. It's this is who you are. This is your music and your culture. I'm curious. I don't know if you know anything about it, but we have a temporary hip hop museum here in the Bronx, and we're going to have a permanent hip hop museum. Seems to me this would be, and they of course have tremendous educational programs, bringing Bronx kids through it, all kids through it. I'm just curious. For you, this gets a stamp of approval, doesn't it? I mean, this is what it is. This is saying, this is who we are. This is our culture, right?
Absolutely. There's so many facets to hip hop, not just music, but to writing, right? English language, the way we express ourselves verbally. You have fashion. There's so many ways hip hop affects us just in our everyday existence. So I think having museums that kind of commemorate its importance is super dope. And I feel like in a way it's long overdue. So I'm super excited for that.
You know what? When I know you're not in New York City right now, if you come down and visit the museum, I want you to call me and we'll go through it together. That would
I
be, for
cannot
me, that
wait.
would be a treat.
Can't
There's actually,
wait.
yeah, there's actually a lot of people in the Bronx that can't wait. I mean, it's going to take a while because it's going to be part of a housing project that's going up and all that kind of thing. Let's talk a little bit again about the book, 50 Rappers Who Changed the World by Candace McDuffie. Um, you have a favorite? Was there a specific part of this that was a labor of love for you? Or was it all just I'm gonna do, that kind of thing?
I love Jay-Z, so being able to talk about, not just his endeavors in music, but just as a businessman was super fascinating to me and really exciting. Lil Kim too, talking about how she pushed the boundaries of sexuality. I thought it was fun to include, modern day female rappers like Megan Thee Stallion, like Cardi B, who are pushing the envelope in 2021 now and taking hip hop in a different direction. I think it's become more acceptable for females to pick up the mic and rap about whatever they want. So being able to celebrate them in real time too is really important to me.
You led right into my next question. I guess it was kind of a setup. Let's talk about women in hip hop. Originally, and this goes back to what I was originally talking about that it was somewhat misunderstood. But women in this music and in this culture are emerging now more than ever, and maybe you, to some degree, embody that this is who we are, and we're going to stand up and do what we believe in.
Absolutely. I think with the invention of social media, it's easier now to get that attention. You can go viral, you can get a record deal. You can do the avenue of like Cardi B being a stripper turned social media star, turned reality star, turned rap star. So I think the avenues are just there. They allow more women to come through in a big mainstream visible way.
I'm trying to figure out the best way to ask you this question. I want to look crystal ball to the future a little bit.
Mhm.
And, I don't know if, I mean, as I mentioned to you before the show, I've interviewed DJ Cool Herc, and, he talked very directly about that moment, which I still remember, about when, he came up kind of with this idea. Um, Nobody really, as much as they may have said, gee, we think this is the next big thing, nobody really envisioned how large it would be, the fact that it would, bleed into culture. I mean, to this day, I see young people creating shirts and going into business
Yep.
and creating, I mean, that's all part of this thing. Do you have a crystal ball look at where we're going eventually? Or of course, just let the artists be artists,
I
and we
feel
all follow.
like, right? Super important. I think there's going to be a lot more experimentation in terms of music. I think Kanye doing a gospel album, people wouldn't expect that from him. You have a lot of the young rappers now, doing kind of like emo rap, almost like the singing and the screaming with the rapping, and You know, the image is more androgynous, right? It's Lil Uzi wearing a skirt. It's, you know, rappers having crazy hair, you know, the face tattoos. It's changing all the time, and I think that's why it's so important. It's kind of, it has its pulse on the next cultural trend, and I think no one knows where that's going to be, and that's such an important part of hip hop music and culture as a whole.
Yeah, yeah, that is the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Listen, I can't claim to be in the culture. I mean, it's not really, what I do, other than I'm a Bronxite and really care about our culture. But when I see rappers, let's say on Saturday Night Live,
Mhm.
as opposed to just singing the song, now there's a whole set. There's a whole kind of world that the music is encased in. My feeling is that it's going to move in that direction, that not only will it be the words and the music, but much more of a full show visual, almost like a theater presentation than ever before. That's my own belief, mostly just from, what I see kind of in general media, I thought. So anyway, let's wrap it up. Wrap it up. That's funny.
I see
Uh,
what you did there. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Do you rap? Do you do any, or you're really a fan and journalist?
I'm a fan and journalist, and I used to teach poetry. I still do creative writing workshops, so I teach writing. So
Mhm.
I think it all
And y-
kinda interconnects.
and you're hearing young people use this medium as much as they can, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
I see it all the time. They're completely inspired by it.
Absolutely. And I think to just be reaffirmed that rap is poetry, you know, rap is lyrical, rap has that element of language to it that's so strong. You know, we can study the great poets, we could also study, you know, Drake if you want to, like
Yeah.
having that door be open, they get so excited by it. So
I love, by the way, we got to get out of here. I love, by the way, your idea that, well, they're branching into other, maybe more traditional forms of music. Boy, that is win, 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 as far as I'm concerned.
I love it
This
too.
is win, 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 ladies and gentlemen. 50 rappers who changed the world. Candace McDuffie, pick it up. Make sure the kids get to read it, because it's them. In the Bronx. It's our culture. It's our lives. It's our young people's lives. It's their opportunity to express themselves. And Candace, you're the best. Thank you so much for
Thank you so
joining
much for
us.
having me. This is
Yep.
so much fun.
And yeah, we'll have you back. Write something else. Do more. We'll bring you back. And
I'm
and
working
I'm
on it. I'm working on
I'm
it. I'm
very
working on it.
serious.
I'm working on
When
it.
that museum opens, you and me, we're going to go through together. That would be so cool.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, folks. What a great show tonight. And we have a great show every week. So we'll see you then next week. Have a good night. Thanks.